How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to my channel, The Cosmic Wonder, where we talk about all things Marvel and everything relating to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And today we have a very interesting discovery. A discovery that connects the previous Infinity Saga way back in the beginning of the Infinity Saga to the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We know that with Phase 4, Phase 5, and everything else that's coming to the MCU, we are going to get a ton of new characters. We're going to get some new Avengers, we're going to get some new villains, and we're going to get the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. And we all know how Marvel works. In fact, we know they love to plant seeds years and years in advance, and it seems like we found one of those seeds today. A seed that connects Iron Man, Tony Stark, to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, who we know are going to be coming relatively soon because Kevin Feige announced them at 2019's San Diego Comic-Con. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how Tony Stark probably already had contact with some of the X-Men and some of the Fantastic Four even way before Avengers Age of Ultron, and how Tony Stark is still going to have a major impact on the MCU moving forward. I'll break it all down, but first, if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news, and so you can enter this week's giveaway for a chance to win a Mysterio Funko Pop. Just subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment down below to enter. So to start off with how Tony Stark knew about all of these other superheroes and super groups, we have to take a look at this recently discovered Easter egg all the way back in Iron Man 2. In the scene in Iron Man 2, when Tony Stark pulls out his phone, if you take a very close look at some of the apps on his phone, you can see that one of them says Illuminati. Now, this is a massive discovery. If you have been following my channel for a bit, you probably know who the Illuminati are. In fact, we've had several reports stating that the Illuminati are going to be coming to the MCU quite soon. In fact, friend of the channel, Mikey Sutton, broke the first scoop about the Illuminati coming to the MCU, and he said that we could see them as early on as Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, if you don't know who the Illuminati are, I'll do a quick breakdown so you know how important this is for the future of the MCU. The Illuminati is a secret organization comprised of several of the world's most powerful superheroes. It was formed by Tony Stark, and the group consists of Tony Stark himself, the Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, Black Bolt, the King of the Inhumans, Charles Xavier, the founder of the X-Men, Namor, the Submariner and King of Atlantis, and Reed Richards, the founding member of the Fantastic Four. Now, this group was formed in secret to protect the world. The group would meet and they would share information and decide secretly how each and every one of their individual groups would correspond to threats. So it's basically the uniting of the leaders of each individual superhero group, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the Inhumans, etc. And now we have discovered this Easter egg for the Illuminati all the way back in Iron Man 2. Does this mean that Tony Stark was already trying to form the Illuminati way back in Iron Man 2? Well, it seems to be that way, and I'll tell you how it could have happened and how it will lead to the Illuminati forming in Phase 4, Phase 5, or somewhere in the future. So as we look at this phone, we see the Illuminati app and we also see the S.H.I.E.L.D. app. But the thing about Tony Stark is that he's never really trusted people, especially the government, to be able to take care of things, which is why he never gives them access to his Iron Man suits. And he shares that lack of trust with Nick Fury. Nick Fury doesn't exactly trust people either. And we know, thanks to a deleted scene from the very first Iron Man film, that Nick Fury told Iron Man about mutants.
As if gamma accidents, radioactive bug bites, and assorted mutants weren't enough. I have to deal with a spoiled brat who doesn't play well with others and wants to keep all his toys to himself.
Who the hell are you?
Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
So Tony was well aware of mutants. He was also made aware of Spider-Man when Nick Fury said radioactive bug bites. And it's more than likely that he tried to track some of these people down, if not out of pure curiosity. And we actually know for a fact that he did track at least some of these people down because of Captain America Civil War. Nick Fury mentioned radioactive bug bites. That is Spider-Man. And when Tony Stark needed additional backup in Captain America Civil War, who did he go get? He got Peter Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. And he knew about Spider-Man because Nick Fury already told him about him. And Tony Stark has the greatest technology that the world has ever seen, with the exception of Wakandan technology. So for Tony Stark to track down some mutants and Fantastic Four members, it probably wasn't that hard. And Tony Stark wanted to track down some of these members because he wanted to form his own team, the Illuminati. After the events of Iron Man 1 and after the events and the government's involvement with the Incredible Hulk, Tony Stark predicted the future. He predicted that the government would want to control all of these new super people. And he also predicted that the government wouldn't be enough to stop many of the future threats that were to come. So just like in the comics, Tony Stark decided to take it all into his own hands. And he began to search for these other groups of super people, that way he could form his own council and take care of the threats of the world himself alongside of these people. In fact, it could have even been Nick Fury himself that encouraged him to go and seek these other groups out. Because again, Nick Fury doesn't exactly trust people either. And for good measure, because we saw what the government was going to do in the first Avengers film. They were going to nuke New York City. They were going to kill millions of people because they couldn't handle the threat of an alien invasion. And we knew Tony Stark was pretty serious about the Illuminati before because he had an app on his phone for it, but he definitely got even more serious after the events of the Avengers. Now, Tony Stark most likely found some of these people, but after the events of the Avengers, he decided to take the world's security into his own hands. And we know this because Tony tried to make Ultron, and he wanted a suit of armor everywhere around the world for the world's security.
What if the world was safe? What if next time aliens roll up to the club, and they will, they couldn't get past the bouncer? I see a suit of armor around the world.
Sounds like a cold world, Tony.
I've seen colder.
And he made sure to bring that back up to Captain America in Avengers Endgame.
That what we needed was a suit of armor around the world. Remember that? Whether it impacted our precious freedoms or not. That's what we needed.
So Tony knew that eventually there would be some sort of an attack on Earth from space. And they did come, and ultimately it would be Tony who ended up paying the ultimate sacrifice to defeat that threat. And now, sadly, he's gone. He didn't have the Illuminati at the time or the suit of armor around the world. However, now it is very clear that threats like Thanos and future threats like Galactus are not going to be able to be beaten by the government. The only way to beat these future threats is if all of the superheroes come together. All of the different groups, the Avengers, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and any other superheroes out there. And they'll need leaders to coordinate what they're all going to do together. And this is where Tony Stark's plans that he had for the Illuminati will finally come back and finally happen. An elite superhero group that controls all of the superhero groups around the world, making sure all of these groups are working together to stop all of the threats. And ultimately, they are going to all need to come together. It's highly speculated that the next huge event that Marvel is going to have in the next 8 to 10 years is going to be Avengers Secret Wars Battle World, where all of the teams come together. The X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the Inhumans, and even some villains all come together. And now it's only a matter of time until we actually see this on screen. But all of these groups coming together is going to start with the Illuminati. Now again, Tony Stark already had plans for the Illuminati. He had the app on his phone. But now it's going to have to fall into somebody else's hands, and that person will most likely be Doctor Strange. He's an original member of the Illuminati in the comics, and he has a connection to the Avengers in the MCU, and will most likely have a connection to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. So it seems like Marvel has been planning this for a very long time. Planning an Easter egg for the Illuminati in Iron Man 2. What do you think about this? Let me know your thoughts about the Illuminati being set up all the way back in Phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And let me know how excited you are to finally see the Illuminati form and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four come into the MCU. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel Cinematic Universe news. For live updates, you can follow me on Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.